Stefan, what you gonna be when you grow up?
A basketball player.
Boy, that's gonna take a lot of hard work and practice. You gotta study hard, too.
I know.
We gotta get you the right kind of ball.
All right. What's it take to be a great basketball player like you?
Well, you really gotta want it. You gotta taste it. I mean, you really gotta be hungry for it.
Basketball has always been shaped by opinions. For decades, coaches and fans believed that defense mattered more than offense, that size was more important than skill, and that the best shots were always taken as close to the basket as possible. These ideas controlled how basketball was played at every level, from youth leagues to the NBA. However, history shows that opinions fade, while true impact lasts. One of the most dramatic and permanent changes in basketball history came from a shot that was once ignored, criticized, and discouraged: the three-point shot. What began as a risky experiment slowly became the most valuable weapon in the sport. This transformation was not inevitable. It happened because certain individuals believed its potential before the rest of the game did. At the center of this change was one family, the Curry family, beginning with Dell Curry and continued by his sons Steph and Seth. Reshaped basketball's culture through teaching belief and skill. The Currys pushed the game into its new era and permanently changed how basketball is played. For most of basketball's history, the game followed a strict and traditional structure. Teams built their offenses around dominant big men who controlled the paint, while guards were expected to pass the ball, control the tempo, and avoid unnecessary risks. Jump shots were allowed, but they were often considered unreliable, and long-range shots were viewed as a poor decision. When the NBA introduced the three-point line in 1979, many coaches and players did not take it seriously. The shot was seen as a gimmick barred by the ABA, and teams rarely practiced it or designed offenses around it. Early NBA games often featured fewer than 5 three-point attempts total, and some games had none at all. The basketball world believed the three-point shot was inefficient and dangerous. However, the rule quietly changed the spacing of the court, creating opportunities that few players recognized at the time. While most of the league ignored the potential of the three-point line, a small number of players began to understand that shooting could stretch defenses and change how the game was played. One of those players was Dell Curry. Dell Curry entered the NBA in 1986 during an era where shooting specialists were rarely considered stars. He was not the biggest player on the court, and he did not rely on physical dominance. Instead, Dell Curry relied on accuracy, consistency, and discipline. Throughout his career, he became one of the most reliable shooters in the league, finishing as one of the NBA all-time leaders in three-points made at the time, when very few players were encouraged to shoot from deep. In 1994, Dell Curry led the entire NBA in three-point percentage, proving that long-range shooting could be both efficient and effective. More importantly, Dell Curry showed that shooting was not reckless or bad, nor based on luck, but a skill that could be developed through repetition and proper mechanics. By stretching defenses and forcing opponents to guard farther from the basket, he quietly demonstrated how the three-point shot could change offensive strategy. While the league has still hesitant to embrace this style of play, Dell Curry represented what basketball was slowly becoming, even if most people did not realize it yet. Dell Curry's greatest influence did not solely come from his NBA career, but from his role as a father and a teacher. In the Curry household, basketball was approached with intention and discipline. Dell taught his sons Stephen and Seth that success was built on fundamentals such as footwork, balance, and preparation. He emphasized repetition over flash and confidence rooted in practice rather than ego. Neither Steph or Seth were the biggest or strongest player growing up. They were often undersized, so they learned to rely on skill, creativity, and intelligence rather than physical dominance. Dell Curry believed that great shooters were made, not born, and he passed that belief onto his children. This environment shaped how Steph and Seth viewed the game and prepared them for a version of basketball that had not fully emerged yet. Steph Curry always had a dream to play in the NBA like his father, but he was always looked down upon. Many said his playstyle was not NBA ready, and no one saw his potential. He had to prove the world wrong.
Far below NBA standards in regard to explosiveness and athleticism. At 6'2", he's extremely small for the NBA shooting guard position. Do not rely on him to run your team.
It doesn't matter where you come from, what you have or don't have, what you lack, what you have too much of. What I tell people is just be the best version of yourself in anything that you do.
As Steph Curry developed as a player, basketball still favored traditional ideas about size and athleticism. Steph was undersized, lightly recruited, and often doubted. Even after his incredible performance at Davidson College, many questioned whether his shooting-based style could succeed at the NBA level. When Steph entered the league in 2009, teams averaged about 18 three-point attempts per game. Steph didn't simply shoot more three-pointers, he made them efficiently, confidently, and from distances defenders were not prepared to guard. His shooting forced defenses to extend farther than ever before, breaking traditional defense schemes and changing how teams prepared for their opponents. Shots that were once considered bad decisions suddenly became dangerous opportunities. Steph Curry did not just adapt to the game, he forced the game to adapt to him.
All right, Steph, ready? Stephen Curry. Do not rely on him to run your team.
He was about 5'6".
Looks like a little kid.
150 pounds, soaking wet. How did I get here? I was the undersized, scrawny kid that was just trying to figure out how to make it. And that feeling of being underrated will always be part of the drive that keeps me going.
I'll tell you something about the greatest shooter that God has ever created. Steph Curry is the most efficient 20-point-per-game scorer in NBA history.
People say, what do you think about when you shoot? To know what a perfect shot feels like, you have to earn that. Perfecting that craft, when I know the feeling that flows from your feet all the way to the top of the release, and then you just kind of let the rest go. So when people say, what do you think about when you shoot? I'm like, absolutely nothing.
The transformation of basketball became undeniable during the 2015 through 2016 NBA season. The Golden State Warriors won 73 games, the most in NBA history. Their success was built on principles once considered risky, including heavy three-point shooting, constant movement, and spacing oversized. This season, Curry had made 402 three-pointers, a number that once seemed impossible. The Warriors proved that shooting could be the foundation of a championship-level basketball, not just a supporting spell. After this season, the debate over value of the three-point shot was effectively over, and the basketball strategy permanently shifted across the whole league. Stephen Curry, who was once considered as an undersized guard with no potential, had slowly become the league's best player, winning the first ever unanimous MVP in NBA history. With this, Steph Curry cemented his legacy as one of the greatest NBA players of all time, but not just thanks to his shooting, but to his father, Del Curry, who taught him all the skills and led him as a role model growing up.
You know, when I found out that I'd won MVP yesterday, I really didn't know what to do. I kind of just went and sat in a chair in a corner and just kind of thought about the journey. Obviously, the most important thing is your family. Pops, you're the example of what a true professional is on and off the court. I remember a lot of your career. And to be able to follow in your footsteps, it means a lot to me. This is special. I'm really proud of what you were able to do in your career, and I don't take that for granted at all. A lot of people thought I had it easy with the Pops playing, in the NBA, but. It was I'll get to that part down the road, but it was an interesting journey, and just who you are. You made it okay for me to have a family at my age when I started it, and to know that you take care of your business, you'll be all right. So thank you so much. My brother Seth is here. I'm proud of you, man. We had some battles growing up. You challenged me every single day when we played one-on-one in the backyard. I always joke our games would go on all night, and it would usually end for two reasons, or one of two reasons. One, my mom would come in and say we were disturbing the neighbors because it was too late and the bounce the ball, they would maybe call over and tell them to shut up over there. Or two, you get mad because I was beating you, and you say I was cheating because I wouldn't give you a foul call. And you take the ball and run in until I said, all right, you can have that foul check up at the top of the key. So those battles I'll never forget. It was a lot of fun just seeing how you've grown and following your career. It's not easy having an older brother that's playing in the NBA, and obviously a dad that's done it before both of us. And the way that you're handling it is impressive. And the sky's the limit for you. Keep doing what you're doing, and you keep making the family proud.
Del Curry's younger son, Seth Curry's NBA career, further confirmed that the Curry impact was not just limited to one superstar. Despite going undrafted, Seth carved out a successful career as one of the league's most efficient shooters. His success reinforced the idea that the Curry approach to basketball was intentional and repeatable, not accidental. It showed that Dell Curry's teachings created a system that could produce elite shooters beyond Stephen Curry. Today, basketball looks completely different than it did before the Currys. Centers regularly shoot three-pointers, guards are expected to score anywhere on the court, and young players model their games after Steph Curry. Steph Curry is now widely regarded as one of the greatest NBA players of all time, and is often considered as the most influential NBA player in NBA history. His impact extends beyond championships and records, shaping how basketball is taught, coached, and understood worldwide. Nearly every team searches for the next player who can shoot like Steph Curry, a clear sign of his lasting influence on the sport.
People say, what do you think about when you shoot? To know what a perfect shot feels like, you have to earn that. The feeling that flows from your feet all the way to the top of the release, and then you just kind of let the rest go.
Steph Curry is the greatest shooter in the history of basketball.
The real work is what people don't see. Hours and hours and hours and reps every single day. At the time, you don't really know if it's going to pay off.
Curry fired.
But you kind of have the faith and belief that it will. Perfecting that craft. So when people say, what do you think about when you shoot? I'm like, absolutely nothing.
The evolution of basketball did not happen overnight. It unfolded over decades, shaped by belief, teaching, and influence, passed from one generation to the next. From the introduction of the three-point line to Dell Curry's quiet excellence, to a household built on repetition and confidence, to the Stephen and Seth Curry redefining the modern game, the Curry legacy represents true historical transformation. Once basketball learned it could be played this way, there was no going back. The Curry family did not just change basketball, they changed basketball's future.